The man accused in a deadly truck attack in New York is being held without bail after being charged with federal terrorism crimes. Sayfullo Saipov was charged yesterday with providing material support to ISIS and violence and destruction of a motor vehicle. He appeared in court in a wheelchair and shackles. He did not enter a plea. Sources tell CBS News he bragged about what he did and was very pleased with the success. Investigators say Saipov has admitted to planning the attack for about a year. According to court papers, he chose Halloween because he believed more people would be out and about. President Donald Trump said on Twitter that Saipov should get the death penalty.
Former Trump campaign officials Paul Manafort and Rick Gates are expected to appear in federal court today. Both men pleaded not guilty earlier this week to a dozen charges each, including money laundering and conspiracy. Special counsel Robert Mueller indicted the men in connection to his investigation into possible collusion between members of the Trump campaign and Russia. Prosecutors did disclose additional details about their wealth in a court filing Tuesday, saying Manafort has provided different accounts of his assets and that he has 3 different passports. Both men have been placed under house arrest. It's unclear exactly what today's hearing is for.
House Republicans could release their tax proposal sometime today after delaying it yesterday. One of the biggest fights has been over whether to repeal the state and local tax deduction. Doing so would raise more than $1 trillion. Republican leaders have been focused on tax reform since returning from their August recess, and yesterday had been their self-imposed deadline. There are also reports that President Trump has come up with a catch name for the bill, the Cut, Cut, Cut bill.
If it's called Cut, 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 and it includes massive tax cuts like this president is proposing, I think we'd perfectly be fine with that name.
The president says he wants a sweeping tax plan approved and pushed through by Christmas.
Wisconsin community rallies to help a family after a fire destroyed a barn at a century-old dairy farm. This fire happened on a farm near Grantsburg, Wisconsin, yesterday morning. Broke out in an area where cows are milked at Four Cubs Farm. All 800 cows were in another barn. They all survived. Now, since these cows get milked 3 times a day, there wasn't much time to get to work. Requests for help on social media resulted in dozens of friends and strangers showing up to help the 4th-generation Peterson family farm.
We had to find new homes for them, so we have about 5 farms within an hour and a half that took on our cows. So now we have trailers and trucks coming in left and right to take them.
Just being neighborly, helping out, because I would hope that people would help us out if we needed, and it's just a tragedy that anything like this ever has to happen.
Fire investigators still trying to determine what caused that fire, what started it. Family says it's likely going to take 6 months to rebuild a milking parlor in a barn. They're not sure just yet what this loss is going to mean for their 18 employees.
Public safety officials warn drivers to be on the lookout for deer. November is the worst month of the year for deer crashes because it's mating season and daylight is getting limited. Authorities say the time of day that's most active is during the morning and evening. They say if you encounter one, don't swerve.
If you swerve, you may very well swerve into oncoming traffic. And very likely the damage caused to you and your vehicle as well as the other vehicle is going to be much worse than if you just went ahead and hit the deer. I know it sounds and seems cruel, but that's the right thing to do.
According to a report by State Farm, Minnesota ranks 7th out of 50 states for deer crashes. Wisconsin is worse, ranking 5th.
Well, another problem people deal with every year around this time, mice getting into homes.
I'll go out in my backyard and I'll see them scatter.
People in this St. Louis Park neighborhood say it's as bad as they've ever seen it. Dozens, even hundreds of mice trapped in and around their homes. As Bill Hudson explains, trapping them alone won't solve the problem.
We have 2 cats who aren't doing their jobs.
Katrina Burkello has seen more than her share of mice finding shelter in her basement.
We saw some dead on the sidewalk. I think our dog caught one too. We have a lot of chipmunks as well.
But her problem pales in comparison to Jack Parr's. In the last 6 weeks, he's trapped 213 mice.
13 of those mice was last night, so 1 in the house and 12 outside.
He sees them out on the streets and sidewalks, running along his home's foundation, trying to sneak in.
Like I said, I've caught a lot of mice, and I have one little trick. It's called a bucket trap, and I can fill it up in a night.
As soon as the cold weather hits, we see an uptick in mice activity.
Pest control experts say mice prefer neighborhoods close to grassy fields and woody areas and can slip in through the tiniest of holes.
You can spend, plenty of time and money trapping and baiting for these guys on the inside, but unless you seal up the house, they're going to continue finding ways in.
Jack Parr plugged his foundation holes, but relies on this deadly invention. Okay, turn away if you're queasy. The mice walk up a ramp, lured to a soda can coated with peanut butter. When they try to do the old log roll, into the bucket of water they go.
Definite problem in the neighborhood right now. Definite problem.
Bill Hudson, WCCO 4 News.
Now, look, this is your problem, right? City and county say it's a homeowner's responsibility to deal with mice. The only time they would step in is if a particular problem house, for example, or a garbage area or whatever is causing health concerns. All right, enough about that.